Merry meet, Annie here. Another one of the subjects that was an early subject on the Pagan Perspective channel was the notion of pantheon. The question was, do we have pantheons? Do we follow a specific pantheon? And I thought I'd answer that as a way for folks to get to know me a little bit better. In my case, in my early years in the 70s, when I was with my first formal coven, it was a Gardnerian coven, and our pantheon was Greek, and our god and goddess were the god and goddess of the Wicca. So the faces we gave deity came out of our study of Greek mythology. At the time, there were circles that were focused on Celtic deity and Greek and Roman deity, and the Egyptian deity pantheons were sneaking in and became very powerful only a year or two into my studies. Probably would have been tempted to spend a lot of time studying that, but the option to explore anything in a communal sense other than the Greek pantheon was not there in my first circle, and therefore that is the pantheon that I had the most familiarity with in those days. And out of that time, my patron made herself very known and very present, and has been with me since then, and is the deity I honor as my personal patron and my guide, and that is Hestia. If you don't know much about her, she's worth looking up. She's worth learning a few things about. She is consistent with me, doesn't tend to be the gentle nurturing type, tends to be the you know what you should be doing, listen to yourself, not just me type. She is complete within herself, a virgin goddess in that sense. She taught me about independence, but she also taught me in her aspects of the light bearer and the holder of the hearth about the importance of community, of knowing what you bring and what you need, what you take from community. She's been very powerful to me. She's been a constant influence in my life when it comes to meditation, divination, and that's been, I'm 58. I met her when I was 20, so she's been there for all those years. She's been consistently the goddess who was front and center, and for many years, when I needed to focus on other aspects of deity, male or female, I focused on the Greek pantheon. Doesn't mean I didn't study other pantheons. The study of mythology is one of the many things that gave me the background that when I came to Wicca, I recognized it as home for me. It gave life to the mythology as a way of understanding psyche and my inner thinking, and the lessons the gods taught about individuation and relationship to community. In addition to that, over the years in goddess studies, I focused on many different goddesses with many different cultures as a way of understanding all the shades and possibilities, and also of a way of connecting to the women throughout time and throughout all cultures and what we have shared. I have never had a problem mixing pantheons. I've never had a problem seeing, especially goddess as across pantheons. I tend to spend more time goddess to goddess, where if I'm going to devote time with the gods, it's usually sticking to my home pantheon, the Greek one. I took a little bit more of I think it was about a year and a half, and taught a course through my Unitarian Universalist church called Rise Up and Call Her Name, which brought a group of about 25 women together, with me leading studies of about 12 different goddesses throughout culture, throughout time, from Egypt to Africa to Mexico to North America. For some reason that class left out the British Isles and the Celtic goddesses. I was following a program that the church sponsored that did a lot of ad-libbing because of my own relationship to Goddess. I at no point have a problem with honoring Pele, of calling up the Orishas. I mean, if I need that kind of energy, Oya Yemaya, I just Yemaya will do it for me. So I've never had a problem with mixing those kinds of things. It feels one and the same to me. It doesn't feel like I'm mixing anything. It feels like I'm connecting to what we as humans have connected to, no matter the face, throughout all time. It's part of the reason why this religion makes me feel connected, not just to here and now, but to the past, to the future, to forever. I have a second patron goddess, which out of my experience maturing and growing up, 20s, 30s, into my 40s, it never felt odd to me to be combining pantheons, to see faces in every shape, size, color, every epic, every culture. It all felt right to me. And in my late 40s, I was visiting a Hindu temple, a local Hindu temple, with a friend of mine. And in that temple, which was dedicated to Lakshmi, the mother goddess of the Hindus, I had an amazing experience where Parvati chose to visit me. I knew nothing about her. I was standing in front of her statue, just totally enamored and fascinated and just frozen. And I didn't even know who she was. I did know who Lakshmi was, but I had not done... I think I'd known the Durga aspect of Parvati, but didn't know a lot about Parvati. I don't even know if I even knew who she was. Well, she made herself very clear to me, which led to my in-depth studying of her, and she has become a partner patron to me. Hestia is still front and center, but Parvati is the gentle, nurturing, I will hold you, I will love you, I will forgive you, maternal, creation, kindness, energy that balances what I need from deity, from Goddess. So I am very much a proponent of listening, researching, experiencing, determining for yourself what talks to you, what form it takes. And I encourage you to think about pantheons as the human connection throughout all time to something. What's the something? What are you relating to? And how is it choosing to speak to you? Who would have thought that me, with no understanding of Hinduism, would be struck literally to my knees in that temple because Parvati chose to talk to me, to make herself known to me. It was a matter of being open to the experience. One pantheon could do it. One god or goddess. Even a god or goddess that is something that you know, you recognize, but doesn't fit into any particular pantheon. There are so many ways in which you can perceive of the divine. So I do not have an opinion which limits the experience of that. For myself, it's been varied. It's included many experiences. For someone else, it may stay within a pantheon or even be just an image of a goddess and a god. And I find it equally inspiring. There's my take on Pantheon. Mirth and reverence. Mary Part.